What's going on, world? You back at the Crosscast. It's your man Cleveland. Cleveland Holmes if you professional. Showtime if you nasty. Today, man, it's a very special day. Very, very special day, man. I'm actually shooting this on Mother's Day. So, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Y'all doing great. You know, even the ones that ain't doing so great, you'll get it right, man. Just keep trying. Man, my mother plays a very, very big role in my life, man. Always has. You know, my father played a big role in my life, but this ain't about him, you know. This is Mother's Day, you know. When it's Father's Day, I'll talk more about fathers. But I guess today I just want to, since it's Mother's Day, it's only right that I follow suit and point out things about mothers, you know. Give them their credit. And maybe for some mothers who are having a problem, maybe this will be insightful. Now, I'm not going to sit here and try to tell y'all what y'all need to be doing as mothers, because I've never been a mother. Never plan on being one either. I'm a father, but I'm not a mother, and it is not my place to tell a woman how to be a woman. But I can tell you how a mother impacts a son, because we, as a son, as a male, my mother has a big impact on me, and out of other men that I know or have known, or rather it be a positive impact or a negative impact, mothers always play. They have an impact. They have a very impactful role, and really, I just want to kind of shoot a little bit at it and, throw a couple things out there, touch a couple topics about it. One of the main things that a mother impacts on a son is the type of women that he deals with. 9 times out of 10, regardless of how good the son and mother's relationship is, he's going to end up with women with a nice bit of their traits or one huge trait of theirs. What I mean by that is, okay, say me and my mom don't get along. I'm probably going to end up with a woman that I'm very fussy with. A woman that I don't mind fussing, because that's normal to me. Like, okay, I know I love this woman, but I know we fuss. Or maybe if you see your mom always fighting with your dad, it's like, okay, it's okay to have a woman like that, because this is what you're used to. This is what you're conditioned to think love is. Love is an emotion. It's a feeling. You're gonna feel love, but now as far as how you show it, we're taught how to show it. Now it's in our nature to feel it, but how to put it out is, we're taught that. So when you're teaching, mothers, be mindful of that. That we perceive that and we take that in, whether we do it consciously or subconsciously. Usually it's a lot of subconscious, but we see y'all. We see y'all. However the mother and the father interact, that plays a key. So if maybe mom is super submissive in parts where maybe it's submissive to foolishness, the son's more likely to end up with pushover type women, because it's like that's what he's used to seeing. Now, me, I'm traditional with things. I don't mind a woman that's like, hey man, you go lead. But I also believe that it's my duty to give you a reason to let me lead. Like I have to earn that. You're not supposed to be like, hey, you're a man. Go ahead, lead. And man, what if I'm about to lead us off a fucking cliff? I don't want you following me off the cliff. I want you to be like, hey, nigga, you about to fall. That's something that I got from my mother. My I watched my mother and father interact. My mom was never the shoot him down when he's talking type, but she's also like, I'm not gonna condone no foolishness. Like that might not be a good idea. And hell, he would hear her, at least from what I see, I've seen her get hurt, and that's something that is very important. So if you're wondering how your son perceives you as a mother, it's it's big. It's a big thing when it comes to the woman he picks. Okay, how can I say that? I could probably say that better because I'm thinking about how to say that. Hold up. When he's picking a woman, she's going to more than likely have traits of yours. So what do you want to show him? If you would the perfect woman you imagine for your son, are you her? Are you that woman? Not to say that you need to be the perfect woman for your son because that's weird. It's super weird. But the type of woman you want if you want the best for your child, you need to show them someone that's trying to be their best. That way you can appreciate it. Okay, I'll use a personal example. Okay, growing up, now I've always loved, cherished, respected my mother. That always have, always will. You know, but I have also watched my mother progress on a personal level. You know, I've seen this. I've seen her grow as I've gotten older. Now, that's not to say she wasn't grown when I was a child, but there was a point in time where I watched her as an adult. With I'm the youngest of four. I'm in my teenage years. My mother goes back to college, and she starts handling it. I mean, great 4.0 type shit. She's handling it, and I watched her grow. And as I got older, now I'm dealing with certain women. Not to say that they're exactly like my mother, but it it's funny that when I actually sit there and pay attention to how my tastes change as the woman this is my standard. This is my golden standard. I love, honor, cherish, respect this woman. So it's hard for me not to look at that when I'm looking at the woman that I'm showing interest in. If I'm going to be interested in you, these are traits that I know and love. So why wouldn't I look for them in someone else? you know? So it was just funny when I actually sat down and thought about it, like, and the type of women that I went for kind of had a direct correlation to my mom growing as a person. I mean, it me growing as a person too, but I can't ignore the fact that her growth had something to do with that because now you kind of opened the door to me. Or should I say, you opened my eyes to see that people are not finished growing regardless of them being grown. you know. So like today, man, I kind of think maybe I'm mad picky, and I'm okay with that. It's like if I gotta deal with you, I reserve the right to be picky, and just like women reserve it too. But I digress. So the mother, we see you, and in our mates, we look for either A, the thing that we're most used to in you, B, our favorite parts of you, or C, there's parts of you that we just can't stand, so we're not gonna deal with that. that could be a plus in some situations if your mother is like everybody doesn't have the same mother. Everybody doesn't feel about their mother how I feel about mine. And that's okay. But sometimes that doesn't necessarily hurt their selection when they go out and pick a mate. Because they're like, I can't stand that so much about my mom. I want the exact opposite. And sometimes it works out like that. But not always. And that's why sometimes you see mom and dad over there yelling. 20 years later, son and girlfriend over there yelling. You know, it's what you used to. You know, what somebody might think is like, man, that's wrong. They crazy. Another person is like, shit, that's life. That's normal. That's what goes on. So mothers, the way you present yourself to your sons does have an effect on the type of women we choose. It does play a part. So for someone to be like, my girlfriend's nothing like my mom, she may not be like her as far as the total package. But there is something that that's probably a big part of you and your mother's relationship that this girl does. Now, or okay, let's say for instance, your mom's a coddler, you know, and you might have a crazy girlfriend who cuss you out and punch you in the face. But maybe when you get home after the stuff, she's one of those, oh, I'm sorry, I was so crazy, blah, 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 and coddle you, and then like you a sucker for that shit. I hope that's not the case, but it could be. There's always something that you grabbed from that initial relationship with your mother that is going to have an influence when you're picking a mate. Another thing that mothers can really play a big part on in a son's life, the son's self-esteem. And this, I can kind of tie this with the picking the mate too. What I mean when I say it's self-esteem, we know that if I'm a man or a boy or a male, my mom is not. She's a girl. She's a woman. She's the opposite sex. If my mother is, you know, nice to me, you know, she is encouraging to me, she lets me know when I do something good, you know, that will help with my self-esteem, especially when it's coming from the opposite sex. Now, I'm going to use me. Yeah, I use me a lot when I'm in these things because, well, I can't use your experience when I'm talking to you because I don't know you. I'm talking to a camera. My mother played a big part in my self-esteem. When I was younger, she was never the I'll beat you down when you fuck up type, you know, like not. And I ain't talking about I ain't get whooped. I mean like you dummy, you da 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 da. I never felt stupid to my mother. Like I never felt like she ever thought I was stupid. And she told me I was smart, and because I loved her so much, I believed her. So me believing I was smart actually helped me to be smart because I believed it. You know, believing that I was worth something makes me treat myself like I'm worth something in most situations. I think I'm valuable. And I got a large part of that from my mother because that was something she crammed in my head young. You know, I never. Here's a scenario. Now, society will tell us, or should I say, a majority of society will tell us, the tall, light skinned man is the cute guy. I am the exact opposite of that. I'm short and dark skinned. But for some reason, I never felt like I was not good looking. And I'm pretty sure my mom beat that into my head when I was younger. So I always carry myself like, shit, I got it going on. And from what I understand, confidence looks good on people. I know I can respect a confident person. Now I can also spot when somebody's overcompensating too. Like you ain't really that confident. You playing. But I feel like you put me in the room and I see something I like, I'm gonna go get it, and man, I'm probably gonna succeed at getting it. But I think mom had a lot to do with that. I always felt like I was worth something. I always felt like I looked good. I always felt like I was smart. Those are things like when I look back, those are things I always remember hearing from her. I always heard them. And now I imagine if it went the other way, and I always heard her telling me how dumb and stupid and ugly I was, I would probably think that. And that sucks because that sucks when I say it because now I'm thinking about it like there are people who grew up like that, whose moms were like they they were verbally abusive, physically abusive, like, and you probably messed with that man's self-esteem. That man does not view himself in a healthy way, or it may take him a longer time to be able to view himself in a healthy way. Which I pray for anybody who's been through that, but I'm glad that's not my experience. Thank you, Mom. I very much appreciate that. I can't tell you how grateful I am because you made me the shit. I appreciate it. And also when we get that positive feedback from our mother, it it assists us with our self esteem, and when we're picking mates, well, bring it right back to that. We pick mates who do that for us. Like I'm not going to deal with a woman who constantly telling me how I ain't shit and I ain't gonna be shit and this, that, and the third. And no, you're not about to try to break me down. That ain't working. I don't believe that. You're not about to sit here and lie to me. That's just me. And I know I'm not comfortable with that because that's not what I'm used to. I'm not used to anything like that. Like even I've had girlfriends who would talk they shit. You know what I'm saying? They get mad and they talk they shit. But that wasn't the only thing they did. They did the building up part. When you see me doing stuff, oh, I'm so proud of you. Yeah. And vice versa. I'm gonna let you know when I'm proud of you too. But so I'm not just one of those feed me praise, and I ain't got shit for you. Nah, it's a two-way street. But it's definitely important for a son's self-esteem for his mother to approve of him and validate him and let him know that, hey, I see you. You about something, and maybe you don't get this right away. You can get it. You're smart. You'll catch it. Man, I feel sorry for the moms of dumb sons though. Like where it's like, no, he won't catch it. He ain't got it like that. Ooh. But once again, I'm glad that is not my reality. Not knocking anyone whose it is. If that's your thing, I'm praying for you. So where we go? We got self-esteem. We got choice in women. Oh, one thing that is very important. This is super duper important, and it's not actually. It's actually something that us as men we sweep under the rug a lot, especially in our society, because it's like a crying man is not something that's praised or even liked. you know, it it's not even comfortable to be that. So when it comes to men, it's very acceptable for us to not show emotion. So where do we go for that? Usually, it's to our mothers. Our mothers is where the emotion happens. That's who shows us that we can let our stuff out to our mothers. At least this is my experience. That wasn't necessarily what I went to dad for. If I needed if I emotional needs, that's not what I went to dad for. With my son, I let him know that I'm there for him, but I would really be okay if he took the emotional stuff up with his mom. I would not feel slighted at all, But I, me being conscious of the fact that it is important to be able to get your emotions out or be emotional if you need to, I open the door for it. But that's only because I'm aware that it's a problem. Everybody's not aware that it's a problem, and we need our moms for that. My mom has seen me distraught. She has seen me like at the end of my rope. She has seen me frustrated, trying. Hell, she's seen me cry. You know, that's not something I'm just doing anywhere. I'm coming there for that. And that's because she opened the door for that. And I notice a lot of men, my friends especially, that's our go-to person. Shit, real. We'll talk to each other, but of course we like, man, yeah, this shit fucked up, man. I'm going through it. I bet that conversation sounds different to your mom. When you go tell your mom about it, I bet that conversation is different. Not to say like, oh, we just gonna run around, we act tough in front of our boys and turn into bitches in front of our moms. Nah, it ain't that. But it's good to have a safe haven to let your emotions out, because it's not healthy to bottle that shit up. I did bottling emotions for years, and it was on my own accord, because it's not like my mom wasn't there. I was going through a thing. I was going through the motions of life, and that's just where I was at. And society kind of, it's like, hey, this is acceptable. You can be. Men are emotionless. We're animals, savages. Like, no, that's not healthy at all. It's not healthy at all. And usually, it's good to have our mothers to come lay that on. And mothers are good for the nurturing process. Like when you think of mammals in the wild, when you think of other mammals, I'm not just gonna say any animal. I'm gonna say mammals because off the top of my head, I can't think of a mammal where you catch the dad all cuddled up with the babies, licking them clean and all that shit. No, that's the mom. And humans, we're mammals. Like our moms do that emotional nurturing part. That's big to us. Like that's a key to a man completing itself. Like we have to learn to show that emotion. Where are we going to learn it from? Sometimes our dads may be emotionally mature enough to show us that, but in a lot of cases, they're not. That's usually something that mom does. Is it fair that way? It's a good question. I don't care. I'm okay with going to mom for that. Oh yeah, by the way, everything I say on here is not just some shit I pulled out of a stat book. This is what I think. I'm okay with mom being the main nurturer. I don't think it's cool for dad to just be a stone wall, but hell, as a man, I'm not trying to come cry on your shoulder, Dad. I'm not. I don't want to cry on anyone's shoulder, but if I gotta pick one, I'm picking mom's. That's just that's okay to me. Um, so what we got? We got choice of women. We got self esteem. Um, we went over emotions. Um, really, moms. Okay, when you look at the grand scheme of things, your two main teachers in life, it's mom and dad. 50% of that is mom. So just imagine anything that you're taking 50% of, that's half of something. Anything that's 50% is a huge thing. And okay, we can even split it into three things. We can say mom, dad, society. So let's say 33.3% of your personality or your beliefs and core values come from your mother. That's a huge piece. That's if we're talking in terms of grades, 33.3% is the difference between an A and a D. And that's assuming everything else you picked up perfect. That's the difference between a A and a D. There, a good mother is vital for a son. I think, do I think that moms have more impact on sons than fathers do? Unfortunately, in today's society, I believe so, because there are a lot of sons being raised by single mothers. I have noticed lately, though, I've been seeing more fathers, which I'm not mad at all. And maybe I'm just paying more attention. I would actually have to look into that. But mothers have kind of been doing this. They've been doing this. And hell, they're doing a great job for the most part. For the most part, they're doing a great job. I see stuff watching sons and how a lot of sons feel about their mothers lets me know that a lot of you are doing a great job. It's not just a bunch of guys out here like, man, fuck my mom. Oh, anything can happen to her. I'm not. I hear that about fathers. Say, man, fuck my dad. He ain't been there. Man, if he died tomorrow, I wouldn't care. I don't say that stuff. I don't say that stuff. But these are things that I noticed to be true in or around where I'm at. So really, I just wanted to touch on it a little bit. It's Mother's Day, man. I definitely kicked it today. I spent the whole day doing stuff. I'm actually very, very tired, but I couldn't not shout out the moms and point out mothers, because it's Mother's Day, man, and I really, really appreciate my mother. So these are things that I noticed, like, hey, she hooked me up right there. She hooked me up right there, man, and I can really see it at the age I'm at now because of how I'm operating now and the things that I'm paying attention to. And I'm noticing I'm like real picky with women. Uh, I feel like I deserve what I want, and I think that's tied into the self esteem. And I'm very comfortable communicating how I feel, and I know I didn't learn that from a book. Someone showed me that. Not to say that my father didn't have any bearing on that, but I know where the majority of that came from. Hell, I'm pretty sure she taught him some of it. Like as far as um, emotional needs, like communicating stuff like that. So really, I just wanted to come on, give a shout out to moms. So, mama, I love you. All the other moms out there, I'm sure y'all are loved too. And if they don't love you, I love you. Y'all keep being great, man. This one, I'm gonna wrap this up quick, man. Man, Cleveland Holmes, you professional. Showtime if you're nasty. Thanks for watching the Crosscast. Let's go be great, people.